My name is Kyle Crane, and I'm dying. How the hell did I get here? In 2014, a virus was devastating the city of Haran in Turkey, turning people into undead monsters. Wanting to help, I joined an organization called the GRE that claimed they could stop the spread and save the world. They lied. Miraculously, some of us discovered we had a form of immunity to the virus, but our fate was worse than the infected. We were hunted, captured, and subjected to brutal experiments. I've survived 13 years of this torture. But I can't take any more.
So when I reviewed Dying Light, I told you all that that was my favourite zombie game of all time, and I acknowledge that was a pretty big claim considering how many zombie games are out there. So the big question for me was, would Dying Light the Beast surpass that and become my new favourite zombie game of all time? And I'm surprised and happy to say that I think it just about does. So it's been 13 years since we last saw Kyle Crane. At the end of the DLC of the first game, he was slowly turning into this like sentient version of a volatile, and that's the last time we saw him. So I expected him to be a lot different than what he is in this game. He seems to be almost the same in terms of like his visuals. He's got a dodgy eye, and he's got some really bad veins on his arms. Apart from that, he looks almost human. He's had a pretty bad time of it, to be honest. He's had a pretty rough 13 years. He's been experimented on, tortured, and pretty much used as like a genetic punch bag by the game's main antagonist called the Baron. Now, we come into the game as Kyle escapes, and understandably, he's pretty pissed off about what's happened to him, and he's seeking revenge. Now, I did play Dying Light 2 for about 5 hours, and I really didn't like it at all. They changed the way the game handled physics, they removed the skeletal system that I loved in the first game, and it just felt like a huge downgrade in so many ways. Now, I never got a chance to fully explore the faction system, but I've watched many reviews and I've watched many breakdowns of it, and it didn't seem to deliver what they were intending to. So I think for everyone, Dying Light 2 was seen as like a bit of a failure. Now, I know that since then, because Techland are pretty good at updating the games and doing what they can, they have added since the skeletal system to the combat, and they've updated it as well. So I may go back and play Dying Light 2 at some point, but for now I haven't played it. I just wanted to get that on record. So in terms of the Moments Mark gameplay, what's actually changed? Well, the format is still the same. We're still running around on rooftops and kicking the shit out of zombies and taking them down with melee weapons. There's a bit more range in this game. You've got crossbows, bows and arrows, and there's a little bit more gunplay. And the gunplay actually feels a lot more satisfying to use, to be fair. But most of the combat will be melee, using your fists, and using gravity as well, which is very much welcome in this game. The damage model on the zombies themselves has been improved, so you'll notice when you're punching them in the face in the first 10 minutes, there's actually like pieces of their head coming away. And some of the fights later on, you actually see like, well, I mean, all that's left of their head is basically like the spinal stem and the eyes dangling around. So that's, yeah, pretty gruesome, and that's pretty much what we wanted. I also like the animations as well. Some of the zombies, you'll like hack their arm off, and you can see the zombies still got enough like consciousness to be like, oh, my arm's now gone, and it's kind of like adapting to the new situation. Or if you chop their legs off, you can see them like careering around looking for like something to like grab hold of. And it's, yeah, they've really done well with the animation, and the general combat system has been evolved. Now, you've got many of the weapons you had in the first and second game. You've got machetes, you've got baseball bats, you've got big two-handed sledgehammers. I do particularly love the knuckle dusters. They do a lot of damage, and they're just so satisfying to use. But at some point, your beast meter will reach maximum, and you will erupt into this like rage machine of just pure destruction. You're running around, you're ripping arms off zombies and their heads. You're literally punching your arms through the zombies, and they're kind of, you can see the expression on their face like, oh, that's not right. And then eventually you'll calm down and lose that ability. But yeah, those like 30 seconds to a minute are just incredible. Now, there are quite a lot of skills you bring forward or across from the other games. It's like wall running or the really satisfying grapple, so you can push zombies in a different direction. And then you've also got this skill tree, which is split into two parts. You've got the normal skills on the left, and you can take different branching paths. And then you've got the beast skills, which are on the right hand side. Now, the beast skills are more linked to the story. So as you take down more of these chimeras, you inject the blood into your system, and it kind of like adapts your body and gives you new beast skills. But the other skills you get through experience. So the more you play, the more missions you complete, the more dark zones you complete. This feeds into the experience system, and then you choose which skills you want to go down. So one of my pretty much only criticisms of the game really is the skill system. I think it's a bit pedestrian, if I'm being really honest. A lot of the skills you get on the human side of things, they feel like they were brought over from the first two games. Like the being able to run through zombies and bash through them, or the camouflage. I'm glad they've put them back into the game to collect again, but they just don't feel very exciting, considering that Kyle Crane is now more than human. He's got more strength, more speed. Now you can run a bit faster in certain situations, but I was expecting something a bit nearer to like Prototype, where you can actually like leap into the air and like do pretty incredible things. Maybe they wanted to keep the beast mode like that's the most incredible part, and keep everything else more human. I think maybe that was the idea, but I was expecting a few more interesting skills on the human side of things in terms of the skills you buy through experience. So kicking zombies off roofs is never going to get old, but what else was it about the first game for me that made it as incredible as it was? And I think it was such a realistic or tangible world they created by making these like side characters that were doing all kinds of stuff, like trying to escape, trying to deal with the zombies in their own way, and this was done a lot through side stories and side quests. And this game has them in spades. It's got all kinds of things to do in addition to the main quest. And one of these things is called Dark Zones, and this really reminded me of the scene in I Am Legend, where Will Smith's character is like making his way through like a dark apartment building, and he's looking for his dog, and you're almost in pitch blackness. And the zombies, or their version of zombies, they're all in like a stasis mode, they're just not moving at all apart from breathing. And it's so creepy, and they've really emulated that in this game. So you're moving through, and you're putting your light on for a second, but then your light starts to disturb them, and they start to like wake up a little bit, but not fully. So you've got a few seconds before you turn your light back off and go back into darkness. And you make your way through these different environments, and these dark zones, they're fantastic because they're all different as well. Different types of buildings, different themes. You've got things in different places like vents and doors and different escape routes. And yeah, the dark zones are a real triumph, and I hope they do stuff like this more in future games, because it really did add to the game in a huge way.
Hands where I can see him!
Whoa, hold it, I'm a good guy.
Prove it.
The name's Kyle, your friend sent me. I'm here to help.
And what if I don't believe you?
Well, you could shoot me, but then I wouldn't be able to help you.
Can't afford to waste the ammo.
Does that mean you want my help?
I could use a hand. I need to get the backup system working.
You want me to climb down there and reset the power?
If you do, I'll cover you.
Deal. Just promise not to shoot me.
So I've mentioned side quests and side characters, but yeah, I just want to give a special mention to the actual quality of the graphics. I think when you meet different characters, they're not just stood there like a Bethesda game, like with their mouth opening and closing. They're actually moving around their environment. They're manipulating different items. Like in action sequences, like we just saw with the sheriff, she's actually like gunning them down. And I think the general quality of the NPCs' faces and the lip syncing is all pretty much top notch. I was very impressed with it. And this also follows through to the actual world detail as well. You'll notice when you're walking around the different buildings or different safe zones, there's absolutely tons of different things they've put in the environments, different objects, and it's not all the same. They've not just got the same building everywhere else. They've really worked on making each place feel individual and special. And you also got different weather and different time of day, and it all looks really good. I know Castle Woods isn't the biggest map they've ever done, but for me personally, I thought it was about right. I mean, considering this was meant to be a DLC that's then turned into an actual full game, yeah, I was very happy with the size of the map. The devs have also said that they wanted to make this map smaller but also more compact, so I think they've definitely succeeded with that. They've added more tunnels, more secret areas, more basements. Like I've said, the interiors, most of them are open so you can go running through them. And yeah, the actual map itself feels like a really interesting place to explore. So definitely a wise choice. In terms of the PC port, as far as I can see, everyone else who's playing it seems to be having a great time with it. There's no big problems, no big bugs. There's the odd thing, but nothing too major. Mouse and keyboard settings all seem to work fine. Graphical settings are all there. DLSS is working fine, although it does keep resetting itself to the middle setting, which is a bit annoying. I do believe that RTX is not implemented at the moment, but they are working on that, so we will try that when they slot that in. But for now, that's not activated. The only big concern I've got with the game's setup really is the save system. I absolutely fucking detest autosave systems. They very rarely work properly, and I've had so many situations where I've logged back into a game and there's huge sections of what I've just done missing, and then you have to like backtrack and go back and work out where you were. Just give us the ability to save a game where we want. We're not console gamers. We don't want a streamlined service. We want to be able to save when we want to save, and it's as simple as that really. This autosave system works okay, but it's not very clear when it's saving, and so I would very much appreciate a manual save. One last piece of the puzzle is obviously sound and music, and yeah, all the sound effects are fantastic. You've got very meaty combat. You got loads of like nice gun noises. All the enemies make some really distinct noises, so you can kind of tell what you're coming into. And the music itself, it gave me a very like 28 days, 28 weeks later feel to it with the films, and very like angsty, but at the same time like very like urgent as well. And the music ramps up really nicely in combat, so you can obviously tell what, if there's some danger around the corner or something's coming, the music will start to like adapt to that, and it all works very well, and I'm very impressed. And I think we'll wrap it up there, guys. That's Dying Light the Beast. I would highly recommend you play it. If you loved the first game, this is definitely a win. It's such a fantastic progression for the series, and I suspect we'll see another Dying Light game at some point in the future. I just want to say a huge thank you to all the new subscribers and anyone who leaves a comment. I love chatting to you guys. I love opening conversations about the game I'm talking about, or gaming in general. So if you feel like you want to open a conversation, just shout up in the comments. I'm not sure what my next review is going to be. Probably Battlefield 6, and then shortly after that, probably Little Nightmares 3. But we'll see how they progress. I hope you're all well, and take care. Thanks, guys. Bye.